All right, I am currently outside of Lake Alpine. It is Cinco de Mayo, but instead of putting on a sombrero and drinking margaritas all day, I decided to rally over here. Initially, when I woke up this morning, I was supposed to rally to Royal Gorge with Ben Coleman, but unfortunately, the levels ended up staying a little too low for us to head over there, which is a bit of a bummer because I've always wanted to do Royal Gorge. One of those few runs I haven't gotten to do, but also just a run I've wanted to do my entire life. Just looks so epic. But unfortunately, levels didn't happen, but it's all good because hopefully it'll come in at some point this season. But the good news is, despite the change of plans and Royal not coming in, I was actually able to rally over to Fantasy Falls, where Ben Stooksbury and Jason Hale are kind of stationed out doing some laps right now. They already had shuttles set and all that, and they were nice enough to invite me to join them for this lap. So I'm super fired up on that things worked out that way, because Fantasy Falls is one of the sickest runs in the world, one of the best classic runs in California. So many sick drops, sick whitewater, some of the stoutest sequences. It's one of my favorite runs ever, and I haven't done it in a few years, so I'm super fired up to drop back in there. Although this year is a little bit different in terms of getting to Fantasy Falls, because normally Fantasy Falls is one of those few runs that you can actually just put in at the bridge over the river. But this year, because things are happening a little earlier than usual, the road is still closed to get up there. So it's about a 9-mile hike in on the road up there, which is a little more effort than you normally have to put in for this run, but it's all good because sometimes you got to work for the goods. And once you're there, and Fantasy is 100% worth the effort. So I'm super fired up that everything worked out, that I can still go kayaking today. I'm really looking forward to getting back into Fantasy Falls. It's going to be so sick. Looking forward to paddling with these guys and just getting back on one of the classic multi-days in California. Already a solid start to the season. Can't wait to get back in there. But first, got to start the hike. Let's go. Stoked. You never really gave us beta. You just said, put on your game face, and then you dropped in all the big stuff. Because you were scared. Therefore, Nick and I were scared. We were in 2012 Zens, and you said it was the highest you'd ever been there.
It was.
All right, I was going to shoulder it the whole way, but on long hikes, that can kind of suck, especially with overnight gear. So... And the problem is that all the backpack systems are sold out, just like everything in the outdoor industry this year. So I'm going to do the classic contraption with the pool noodle, and hopefully it won't fall apart like I did at King's. Let's see if I remember how to do this right.
Get it there, Dane.
Oh, fuck, that
That's
looks
closer.
good.
That's
Dude,
closer.
that looks good.
Especially that rope right there smacking you.
Yeah,
Teabag.
Well, if it lasts the whole way, I'll be very surprised, but still, I think better than shouldering it the whole way. All right, boat's loaded, makeshift system. Hopefully, we'll survive this trip. Time to go work for the goods, get the hike going, put an audiobook on. There's a very solid chance that I will eat shit right about now. Oh, no. Here we go. I think we're a little over 2 hours in right now. Probably at least another hour and a half to go. As you can see, I'm no longer using the shoulder straps. Unfortunately, I guess I didn't reinforce one of the noodles enough and the strap ripped through. So unfortunately, once again, all the blood was being cut off of my arm. It's not very comfortable. So now I'm back to swapping between putting it on my head and on my shoulder. Not the end of the world. Well, 9 miles, a little over 3 hours later, made it. Now it's the good stuff. It's always great when you get to the top and know that you have all your gear. Pretty much the thing I'm most paranoid about is getting to the top of like a hike, like, you know, the 14 miles in Upper Cherry, going into West Cherry, this hike, whatever it is. The last thing I ever want to do is forget something and not be able to go kayaking. Sounds like we got some good flow in there, especially as we get later in the day, the level will get higher. Fired up. Well, remember how I said I'm super paranoid? I always want to make sure I have all my gear at the top. Well, I did load all my gear into the boat, and luckily I can go kayaking, I have all the essentials, but for whatever reason, I thought I secured my other elbow pad enough, but nope. Looks like it fell out of my boat somewhere on the 9 miles in. Looks like I only have one elbow pad this trip. Better than none. It's all good. Still going kayaking. Time to put on. Push left. Ah! Oh, woo! Do this up against that wall?
Yeah, first time first.
I'm kind of tempted to try to get the kicker again. Woo! Last time a lot of our crew got their ass kicked in that hole. Are you running right? Okay. I was like, I don't even know the right one. But you're gonna walk it? Okay.
Yeah.
It's just so good to be back. Love it. Great level.
Awesome level.
First time I ran this back in 2012 with Ben, he was leading me a nick down, and he literally just looked at us, goes, "There's high water." He said, "Put your game face on," and then peels out. No beta. Put your game face on, Ben. Woo! Good? I forgot that's a late boost. Grab my boat, grab my boat. Got it? I'll get your boat. I don't think your paddle came through here.
No, the paddle snapped.
Oh, it did? Ben unfortunately broke his paddle pretty early on, first day. It's gonna be a long day and a half with a breakdown. That's why you bring him though. You alright? I got you. I got your boat.
Loaded me.
Yeah.
And then it boom, boom, boom. And it got me over there in that pocket.
I had to come out.
Get out. That's my motto. Get out. Earlier the better. Thanks for getting my boat.
Of course.
Alright, I don't want raffles today. No, you'd be good. Oh, dude. I mean, that's the deal with this run, is it's like...
Rowdy. 2 out of 3 for swimming. Great odds. Man, you got stuck down the right wall. I was like, oh boy. Hope I don't land on him.
Yeah, that's where that log was. You're hitting it. You're like, come on by, come on by.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. I'll just wait here in case something happens.
Thanks for the rescues.
You're welcome.
Okay, I know I should have tried.
One more roll, hell. Promise me, you're trying one more roll.
I tried to get a carp lip and I got fucking water. That's why I was like, oh. And then I was like, fuck y'all, I'm out of here. I was like, nice one, boys.
Very juicy fantasy. Well, not a bad day at all. Hike 9 miles in the morning and then have some fairly solid flows down that like full section. There's so many of those rapids, like it's rowdy to have that much water in there, but it's so much fun. It's still a little all over the place, but so much fun being back in here, especially these rowdy flows. I'll take these flows over way too low any day. Both these guys swam, but you know, it happens. But a good thing they had me with them. You know, young guy to look out for the old one. Yeah, solid first day. Fired up. It's a great, solid day, man.
Solid day. That was badass.
Thanks for letting me join you guys. Yeah, overnighter Dr. is just so good. The few times I've been in here, I normally camp a little ways upstream. It's the first time I've actually gotten to camp here, which is one of the sickest spots. Right now we're at the top of I Want My Mommy Gorge, which is one of the stouter sequences of this whole run. Yeah, it doesn't get run very often because it's a very stacked sequence, high volume, a lot of kind of gnarly places, and it's definitely one of those that you want to be on your line. And right now the water is super high because it's super late in the day and it was super hot today. It's definitely high water right now. So yeah, we're gonna go get a look at it while we're here, camping in this awesome spot, go see what it looks like with a lot of flow. Yeah, I'm curious what that gorge looks like right now. Yeah, it's high. This is definitely way higher than when I ran it. It's juicy. This is like by far the highest I've ever seen this section, but I guess I'm always here in the morning when it's lower. Really hoping that this is a lot lower in the morning, which it should be, but I'm really hoping that it's like low enough to run, because now that I'm back in here, it's been like 3 years, I really want to do the flush again where I run this, I Want My Mommy Gorge, Untouchables, and then Show Me Your Tits is the final one. Just get all three on the same trip. It's a rowdy day when you do that, but it's so much fun, and all that other stuff in between. Either way, sick to check out, and if it stays super high and the big ones don't go, it's still gonna be a great day tomorrow with all that other in between stuff and probably some rowdy rapids and big holes at the slides. So yeah, it's gonna be a sick day tomorrow either way. Woo. All right, it's nice and early in the morning. Sun's coming over the ridge. Having some breakfast, chilling by the fire. Level looks still pretty high, but definitely quite a bit lower than last night. I think we'll get a look at Mommy Gorge this morning and make a call. I really want to run all three again this trip, but we'll have to see what the level looks like. But for now, have some coffee, enjoy some breakfast. Always love waking up by the river. No matter what, it's gonna be a good day. All right, just packing up camp right now. Sounds like these guys are gonna walk, but I figured before I get my gear on, I could run up and see what the gorge looks like with the less water in the morning. Hopefully it'll look good and I'll wanna run it. Be a fun way to start the day off. And like I said last night, I do still really wanna try to get the flush today. Let's go see what the gorge looks like. Well, definitely not low. First drop looks pretty good. Second drop definitely has a pretty solid meltdown into a pretty beefy hole right now. Remember that one being a little funkier. So this sequence literally goes that like sloping, hard to boof, like 15, 20 footer up top. That's that bit of a hole after. Then it goes into this super funky drop where it like melts down into like a pretty beefy hole, but made it work last time. Comes down, then it goes into that section, which is literally like a 90-degree turn where the middle of the flow has a big old tombstone rock. Try to go left of it, but in order to go left of it, you actually have to catch an eddy on the right, ferry across, go left of it. After that, you plug a couple holes, and then after that, there's like two kind of slide holes that are back to back that you have to try to get over or around. And then right after that goes over a massive like horseshoe hole. You definitely need to be all the way right. No denying it's stout, but I think I'm feeling up to it. I think I'm gonna send it. I think it's gonna go good. It's gonna be rowdy though.
Good.
Thanks, dude. See you in a minute.
Yeah.
go. Woo! Not get the poop I wanted. Ah, this gorge is so sick! That gorge is so stout. And I think it's even higher than when I did it last time, which was already pretty high. Just so much back to back. So many places you do not want to like break a paddle and come out of your boat. Not my cleanest lines, but definitely not quite as like clean as I had it a few years ago. But in a sequence like that, how powerful and boiling it all is, like, I'll take it. First drop, I don't think I got quite as much as the wall as I should have. So I kind of faded in more than I wanted. Kept my bow up a little, but kind of plugged in a bit. Rolled up quick, boofed the second hole. And then the second drop, I wanted to try getting up on the wall more, and I did. Kind of windmilled off the lip, wasn't that clean. That was the one I was a little curious how I was gonna go at these flows. Then the final sequence, it's so sick just dropping into that curler, getting that eddy, and then having to do that ferry in front of the rock. But then when I boofed next to the rock, my edge kind of caught and I had to do a big brace. And then boofed through those bottom holes, and then finished it off with making it right on this last super stout hole. Just so much back to back, and it's a rowdy water level, but whew, that was sick. Thanks for the safety.
I was scared.
Looking high, looking rowdy. It's probably even higher than when I ran it last time. Just deal with that first drop, either plug or get a bit of a boost. When you come out, just move back to the left wall, right around this hole, charge over and get right to that last boil, last pillow and last kind of hole. Like I feel really good about this whole sequence back to back, and I feel a lot more confident in these lines than I do I want my mommy gorge. So feeling good about it. And in the end, like, the biggest thing is how that pillow and that hole kind of feeds into that wall. But I think even if I ended up in that hole, I think I'd be able to make it work. I think I'm gonna send it. Yeah, here we go. I got too chill. I thought I cut the corner around that hole enough, but I just didn't turn enough. I went into the meat of the hole, kind of backed it a little in this pocket, kept it upright, dropped into this pocket, did a roll, surfed out. It's not the line I was looking for. Like, I was stoked I'm fine, but fuck. I totally thought I like hit the tongue, was moving right. I just didn't charge hard enough right. That's disappointing. I was going to do it again for redemption.
Hey! He's going back! Don't do it twice!
You know, one and done is always nice, but just pretty disappointed in that line. The guys said they're all good with it. I'm gonna head up and get some redemption. I really want to have a good line on this one. Gotta really focus on cut behind the hole. I got pushed way harder left at the top. And I flipped, but the bottom went way better. I need to come back at like more standard flows. I feel like it's gonna feel so good. Well, let me go again. I'm bummed I flipped in the first one, but I'll take that. Well, glad I went again. Ended up getting pulled a lot more left on the first drop than my first lap, which unfortunately it's like right into that fold, so I ended up melting more, ended up flipping, had to roll up, but then the bottom went way better on the second lap. It's like stout right now. Made it to Island, one of the bigger ones on the run. Big, like overhead, like pillow hole coming off the wall. Then stays right off another, not quite vertical slide into a big hole. It's rowdy. Yeah. But I think I got a little too much left angle. Hit the wall a little with my bow in that big hole, and then it just back-ended me onto the top of the slide. Luckily I was able to roll up quick, but it's like, ah! That is one of the most recognizable classic big rapids on this run. The Stout, especially in these flows, which I feel like I've been saying all day. A little bit of a tricky entrance. Pretty small window to hit in the middle, big old curler, and then the hole at the bottom. I personally don't find that bad, but it does wash you out, and you can surf out this side. But it can definitely give you some ends, and a lot of people usually swim out of this hole. The last of the big stops for the run. Final one. Here we go. It's so rowdy, especially with that entrance, because it's just such a narrow window that you want to be. I got my boot, but then I kind of got spun around. Luckily able to like surf the curler, turn around, and then plug the last hole right out the back. That was another joke day.
Nice job.
Okay.
First one, be way left, and then move a little right.
Okay.
Second one is kind of avoiding holes, and then the third one comes pretty soon after. Be kind of left center, driving back right.
Okay.
Fourth one, the left channel, but right side of the left channel, moving left.
Okay. Cool. Y'all keeping up with that? That was so sick. There's like, the lake is way lower. So we got all those extra moves and rapids. That was sick. Stoked to send the big 3 again. Very successful 2 days. Stoked to get the flush on Fantasy again. Few of not my smoothest lines, which is a bit of a bummer. Kind of had a few spicy moments in there, but these rowdy flows, you know, sometimes that just happens. Hopefully I'll come back in this season, but if that's the only lap, that was glorious. So crazy. You can see the high water line. This is basically where it was when I came in here last time. It's crazy how much lower it is this year. I don't think I'll flush it again at that level. The boat times have been so high now, I'd love to see it with less water. It's gonna be a long paddle out. Made it to the dam. Whew. That was such a sick few days. I'm so glad I got to join these guys for that lap, because even though Royal dropped out, I'm so fired up that those guys let me join them for this lap, because Fantasy is just one of the sickest runs ever, and it's so good, especially at those flows. A lot of it is super rowdy, but with those flows, it's just all padded out. So much fun. Then also to do the flush again, even though it's actually a bit higher probably than the last time I did the flush. Stoked that I still managed to put it all together. A few of them definitely didn't have the cleanest lines ever. A few of them got a little spicy, which a little disappointed in a few of those lines, but in the end, high water and rapids like that, sometimes it's just how it goes. But either way, that was so much fun. Such a sick run. I'm so stoked I got to drop back in there. And now it's just time to just keep my eye on the weather, see what's coming in next. Got a few more weeks here, so I'm sure there can be plenty more sick things to come. Stoked. Let's go.